Hello and welcome to another video from the channel Drive, Travel and Live. This time we are going to be doing a bit of traveling advice. I'm going to share my experience and what happened with a rental vehicle I rented in Cologne, Germany. So basically, I went to Cologne, Germany, last April for a trip around the Nürburgring, and I rented this vehicle I'm showing you right now on this image. Please note that I'm covering the number plate because what happened to me with this particular rental company, I have no intentions of doing any harm. That's not my point. My point and advice is going to be to avoid these situations. So as I was saying, I rented this vehicle. It's a Ford Kuga. I actually rented a Golf or similar vehicle because I wanted a car that has GPS inside and a bit uprated because I could have gone to a basic car smaller than a Golf. But anyway, I was given this because there was nothing else available. That's okay. It's part of the agreement of a rental company. If they don't have available, they might upgrade you for free, and for this was an upgrade for free. I've rented many vehicles from this particular company. I have been renting from this particular company from around 2010 until present. And maybe I rented between 9 and 12 cars from this company. And I always was happy. I never had any problems. I was aware of certain situations that might arise from renting a car, and we will get into detail about this. This time, I'm sorry to say, I was disappointed. But having said that, throughout my car renting history, I never had any issues. So this particular issue, it was only one time, and as I said, I was expecting it. As I was saying before, I used to, when renting a vehicle, I used to spend a lot of time taking pictures and making sure that there are no defects and that the defects that there are marked. And I used to end up using a lot of time. I used to fixate on this thing and stretch it too much, basically. Then there was a period, maybe the last 4 or 5 years, where I wasn't doing this anymore. I just give a quick look and take a few pictures and do my cockpit drill, which is very important, and off I go. But this time something was telling me to take pictures, because this vehicle this time, it was a bit old, and I might understand that there's a scarcity in vehicles at the moment, and I think this story plays a bit of a part of it. In fact, the vehicle had around 30,000 kilometers. Usually when I rent in Germany, cars are not more than 5,000 kilometers, 10,000. They are practically brand new. And this particular vehicle had, I'm going to show you now, a particular damage on the right rear door. As you might see, there's quite a scratch and even a bit of a dent, big dent. But anyway, I took pictures and off I went. I also took pictures because the lady that was serving me, which she tried to rip me off a little bit on a particular subject, but I won't get into that over here. And I felt something off. In fact, she said at the end, there's no damage on this car. Now on the contract it showed that there was damage. But anyway, on this same door I'm saying. But if there is any damage, take pictures, and then if something happens, send us the pictures, etc. So that already alerted me that there might be something wrong with this car. Anyway, The unfortunate thing is you cannot in this particular rental place in Cologne Airport, Germany, and I think many other places in Germany. I've rented from Munich, from Frankfurt, and the process was kind of very similar. The person giving you the car won't come to see it with you, so you can't confirm if there's any damage or not. It's only by documentation, and I would say trust, because honestly I don't know how someone can confirm from a photo that the damage was done after or before, at what time. I'm not an investigator. Maybe you can tell me how you can tell from a photo that a picture is actually taken at a particular time. So I take pictures, I take back the rental after 1 week, I go back home. After about 2 weeks I receive a registered letter. It's basically saying that they found damage on the car, and I have to pay 650 euro, 649. This was an estimate, so it could be more, it could be less. What I found a bit funny was that the inspection was done at 9:28, for example, and the estimation for the cost was done at 9:29, just 1 minute after. So that already raises doubts in me. I mean, how could you do an inspection at 9:28 and then at 9:29 you already have an estimation? I mean, the way I know the process is you have to go to a place where they can do an estimation of the hit or scratch, whatever. Remember, this was a 6-inch, 7-inch scratch, which was there before. But anyway, they might have stipulated pricing already on certain hits or dents, whatever. So that might be the case. But this also raised an alarm in me and triggered this video also, because I heard many of these stories in the past. So there's another thing. If they got paid from the person before, how come the dent is still there, for example? So my thinking is that they get as much money from that same scratch as much as possible. In fact, they did that with me because I never took insurance. This is not the video to explain why I do this, but maybe in the future, if I see that there are many questions about it, I will explain. I take the most basic insurance because I feel that doing the full insurance with the rental companies is kind of one of the reasons. It's kind of a bit of a rip-off and money-making thing. Like, for example, the first car I rented in Germany, it was a Mercedes, but it gives you the option of having winter tires, which was legal. I mean, it was illegal to drive without winter tires, snow winter tires, at that time of the year, so it had to have them. And so I paid the 100 euro extra. This was for 5 days, 100 euro extra for the tires. Not knowing how the process works, I thought that they will change the tires for the car for myself, but it was nothing like that. Because when I went to collect the vehicle from the garage, I noticed that all the vehicles over there were with winter tires. So from then on, I never in Germany, because for example Italy might be different, in Germany I never took the winter tire option. In fact, every time I rented, the car had winter tires, even in summer. So basically they run with winter tires all year round. If that's legal or not, I'm not going to do it over here, but that's my experience. So there already I saved 100 euro. But coming to this dent, it shows you the importance of taking pictures of any damage, especially if it's not marked on the contract. So what I did was I sent an email which was written on the document I received, sending the pictures and the contract and everything. I'm not quite sure, but I feel that they tried to rip me off with this. You might tell me, why don't you, I was explaining this before, when you collect the vehicle and return the vehicle, why didn't you show it to someone? In this particular location, Cologne, Germany, you cannot show it to someone. You give it to a person, which is like a company that takes care of all the rental companies. They inspect the vehicles as they come in. And this was out of the office hours when I returned the vehicle, so I couldn't confirm with an individual. But before I left the vehicle, before I went away from it, I also took pictures because someone could have hit it in the garage, and off I went to the airport. I left the key there and off I went to the airport. What do we take from this? Take pictures of any damage you find, and take pictures of the roof, of the sides, of the front, include the number plate and maybe another car that is next to it, so that gives more confirmation where you are. I'm saying this because they could come back with the argument that after an hour, after a day that you took the car, you took the photo after, in that day when you did the damage yourself, not before you collected it. I usually take a picture of the odometer. So be careful. Ask me questions in the comments. Tell us your experience about this. I found it a bit strange the way they did it, but I believe they abused the fact that I didn't have the extra insurance, because if you have extra insurance, depends on the package, you pay nothing. I had an excess of 900 euro, so from that 900 they tried to take 650. But it was resolved, probably because I had this documentation. It could also be that I showed them that, listen, I know your game, so please do not charge me that. I do some other things with the bank account, which I'm not going to explain because I'm not sure of the legality of the situation, because I'm always prepared for these kind of situations. If I did the damage myself, I have no problem paying it. That's what I signed for, that's what I agreed. But I always felt that sometime this is going to happen to me, and it actually happened. So having said all this, if you would like me to do another video on what options you should get when you rent a vehicle or not at all, like for example navigation, I learned that when you rent a vehicle which is a bit of a higher class, let me put it that way, they all include in Germany GPS. Another tip that I might give you for this particular trip, because I knew 2 months before I was going there. And by the way, I know that some of you are going to tell me that with this car I drove inside the Nürburgring, and no, I went with this car to the Nürburgring because I had a trial job over there. No, I didn't drive inside the Nürburgring, because from my knowledge you cannot drive inside the track. I think it's also written in the contract of the but it's a nice area to visit. Actually, just over here or here, I don't know where it comes. I will link to a video where you can get a glimpse of what I saw during that week. It's fun. It was Easter weekend. It was fun. Yes, what I was saying was about the price. I never pay from before to rent a vehicle. In fact, I booked this vehicle, not paid, booked, because some companies offer to book without paying, without even giving a credit card. I booked this car 2 months before, so I booked it at the end of February approximately, and it was 500 euro. I ended up keep checking the price, cancelling the reservation and doing it again, and I got it for 350 or 360, something like that. If you calculate, that's quite a save, much more than 20%. So do your homework and don't pay too much. Anyway, this shall end here. I hope you enjoyed it. Subscribe for future videos related to driving, traveling and living, and feel free to ask me any questions in the comment. I shall leave you in peace. Ciao.